Oma Sirichi! Uncle Ndu screamed as he hugged her so tight. He cried and said, "Oh, Oma, my dearest child, I have searched everywhere for you. Oh, my child, I can now die in peace now that I know that you are still alive." After the terrible accident, the driver picked Oma up and rushed her to the hospital. When they got to the hospital, Oma was rushed to the intensive unit care, where the doctors tried their best to save her life. The whole time, the driver was with Oma at the hospital during her unconscious state. The driver's name is Mr. Christopher, in his late 40s, a very wealthy man and compassionate soul. Day and night, he watched over Oma. He made sure that she was given the best medical care in the country. When Oma became conscious, she yelled at Mr. Christopher, "Why did you bring me back to life? Did I mention to you, sir, that I want to come back to life? You should have allowed me to die. I am tired of this life. Why did you bring me back to life?" she said while she cried. Mr. Christopher, who was confused, confusion written all over his face as he stared at Oma, he said to himself, "How can a little girl like this wish death for herself?" Then she said to Oma, "If I had killed you, do you not know that I could go to jail? Your parents or your siblings can sue me and take me to jail." Then Oma replied, "It's a good thing that I have no parents, so that wouldn't be a problem. Nobody is going to sue you. Nobody is even going to ask about me, so you don't have any problems, sir," she said to the man arrogantly. Then she started crying and still asked him, "Why did you bring me back to life? I am happier that I died and joined my parents. Why did you bring me back to this cruel world?" she cried bitterly. Mr. Christopher, who was confused, only held her while she cried. After she was done crying, Mr. Christopher asked her what her story was. Then she opened her mouth and told Mr. Christopher her story, how she lost her parents, how her own brothers raped and molested her for 3 years, how her auntie found out that her sons have gotten her pregnant and she sent her away in a bid to cover up for her son's evil deeds, how she had slept in an uncompleted building for all the days she was pregnant, how her baby was stolen from the hospital and she was told that her child died. Mr. Christopher was shocked to his bone marrow. He could not believe that a child could pass through all these pains. He exclaimed and said, "What a wicked world! What is going on? Why are people so heartless and wicked?" he said in so much anger and bitterness. He felt for Oma. He was so sad. Then he said to Oma, "You do not have anywhere to stay? What about your aunties? You don't have anybody?" Oma replied and said to Mr. Christopher, "Uncle Ndu was the only sibling of my father. He wasn't paying attention to me. He only concentrated on his work and he had no idea what is happening in his family. So as it is, I have no family member. I am just an orphan and I am alone in this whole wide world," Oma said bitterly to Mr. Christopher. Mr. Christopher was filled with so much rage and anger that he had to excuse himself for a moment. Then he went downstairs to cool off. He could not believe that such evil exists in the world. He said to himself, "How can a little child entice adults? What is it that they saw in this little girl that made them to molest and rape her till she got pregnant? He couldn't believe it. Then after cooling off for a while, he came to Oma and said to her, "From today henceforth, I am going to be the father that you never had. I am going to be the mother and the guardian that you never had. I swore to you, everybody that has caused you pain and tears, I will bring tears and pain to their doorstep." He swore to Oma. Oma was confused. She only nodded her head in appreciation. Then Mr. Christopher said to her, "I am going to adopt you as my own child. I will give to you all that you have been deprived of. Everything that a father could give to a daughter, I will give it to you." She could not believe her ears. Is this really happening? But she decided not to get overexcited because she has learned the hard way not to trust people easily. After Oma's stay at the hospital, she was discharged when the doctors confirmed that she was healthy enough to live. Mr. Christopher took Oma to his house, a very beautiful mansion. She was amazed at the beautiful edifice. Then she asked Mr. Christopher, "Do you live here alone?" "Yes, presently I live here alone. But I used to live here with my family, my wife and my daughter. They died in a ghastly motor accident few years ago." Oma was shocked. Then Oma apologized to him. "I'm so sorry," she said to him. Mr. Christopher replied and said, "No, you don't have to. Things happen. That is life for you. The Almighty blessed me with a beautiful daughter, which is you. All the love that I was meant to give to my daughter, I will transfer them to you." Mr. Christopher later took Oma to the hospital where she gave birth and threatening them to provide Oma's child. The hospital still maintained that Oma's child was dead. Then Mr. Christopher, sensing a foul play, hired a private investigator to investigate the young man that brought Oma to the hospital that fateful day. Afterwards, he took Oma to the family of Mr. Ndo, where she was molested, raped, and chased out to the cold hands of death. Uncle Ndo's first son had brought home a very beautiful damsel that he wants to marry to show his parents. They were in the house making merry with happiness when Oma walked in with Mr. Christopher. When Mr. Ndo saw Oma, he could not believe his eyes. He jumped up. "Oma! Oma! Oh, Oma, my dearest child!" He wrapped his arms around her in a very warm hug. He could not believe his eyes. "Oma, I have searched for you everywhere, my dearest child. What happened? Where have you been?" he said, with tears dropping down his eyes. For a moment, he thought Oma was dead, but seeing her standing in front of him, he felt Oma has come back to life. He held her so dearly. Oma hugged him back with tears in her eyes. For a moment, she felt bad on what she was about to do to her uncle, but she couldn't help it. He needed to know what his family had done to her. Uncle Ndo's wife was in shock with her sons. They were in shock because they know that the truth was about to come to timelight. Oma opened her mouth and told her uncle everything that happened. Uncle Ndo was shocked that he had a heart attack. He slumped and was rushed to the hospital while the police took his sons, 3 of them along with them, to the police station. The wife was allowed to go with her husband because he needed someone around him, but the police promised to come back for her. Uncle Ndo was in so much pain that the sight of his wife disgusted him. He could not believe who he has been living with all these years. Obianuju only knelt down and begged her husband for forgiveness for all she had done. When Uncle Ndo got back to his feet, he met with Mr. Christopher and they discussed. And he told Mr. Christopher that Oma needs to come back to the village for a cleansing with his sons. According to the custom and traditions, a brother cannot lay with his sister. It is an abomination. And if such is being committed, that they need to be cleansed from such abomination. Mr. Christopher accepted. Oma went to the village. Mr. Ndo's sons were released, accompanied by police security to the village, where cleansing was done. After the cleansing, Oma followed Mr. Christopher back to the city, while the police took Uncle Ndo's sons back to their custody. Mr. Christopher gave Oma everything that she has ever wished for in life. He bought her good clothes. He sent her to a good school where she started her education. Her life turned around in a split of a second. Everything changed. It was as if she was in a dream, she said to herself. Most times she wakes up in the middle of the night and pinch herself to be sure that she is not dreaming, that all the pain she ever passed through, the molestation, nights outside the cold, the days she sold water in order to eat, then she will start crying. She said, God, you heard me. You heard my cry. Then you sent me a helper. You sent someone that has changed my life, that has turned my life around. She said as she sobbed and cried. It was tears of joy. She was happy that she is no longer sleeping in the cold. But she always thought about her child, what it will feel like if her child is with her. Whenever she remembers her child, she will start crying. Then she asked God to help her meet with her child again. It was as if the heaven heard her prayers, as one day, the private investigator that was hired to follow and find out all about Mr. Ikechukwu, who had brought Oma to the hospital that fateful day, the owner of the uncompleted building where Oma had laid her head when she was chased out by her auntie. When the private investigator came, he showed Mr. Christopher and Oma all that he had gathered, that Mr. Ikechukwu had a little child, a boy, whom him and his wife carried around, that he doesn't know if he's their child or Oma's child. But according to the age and the description of Oma, from the day she had had the baby till now, is of the same age with the child. One day, Mr. Christopher prepared with Oma. Then he took the police to Mr. Ikechukwu's house. When they got to his house, him and his wife were in the house. When Mr. Ikechukwu saw Oma, he was shocked as he froze. "What are you doing here?" he stammered. When he saw Oma, he recognized Oma. Mr. Christopher said, "So where is her child?" he thundered at Mr. Ikechukwu, who stammered and said, I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Man. Arrest this thief, he said to the police. Jail him till he's ready to say the truth. Then Mr. Ikechukwu fell on the ground and started apologizing and crying. He said to the police and Mr. Christopher, I am sorry, he said. I only thought it was the best thing to do for her, since she has nobody and she cannot take care of the child. I and my wife has been looking for child for the past 3 years, and I decided to take the child because she cannot take care of the child if I had left the child with her, he said. Then Mr. Christopher said, so that is the best way to go about it? Telling the innocent girl that her child is dead, conspired with the hospital, and you even had the guts to throw her out of your own completed building where she sleeps. What a wicked man you are. You stole someone's child and you chased her out of your building where she has always laid her head. But you are a selfish man and you decided to do what is beneficiary only for you, thereby throwing her out in the cold. Officers, arrest this thief, Mr. Christopher thundered. Mr. Ikechukwu was handcuffed by the police as they led him out. Oma carried her child. She held her son as tears rolled down her cheek. She never believed that a day will come where she will hold her own child with her hands. She thought that she would never set her eyes on her child again. Mr. Christopher took them home as he hired a nanny to take care of Oma's son. Then he said to her, nobody will know that you had a child now. For you to concentrate on your study, you have to finish your education. Mr. Christopher also sued the hospital that conspired with Mr. Ikechukwu to sell Oma's child. The doctor and nurse that was involved in that conspiracy were disqualified and their license were collected from them. Oma was happy that God blessed her with Mr. Christopher. She got an admission to study outside the country. Mr. Christopher was so proud of her. They were like the family that he lost. He always say that God gave him the family he lost back. He is a fulfilled man. After Oma got the admission to leave the country for her study, that night she came to Mr. Christopher and thanked him for all that he had done for her, for turning her life around, for bringing happiness, joy, and fulfillment to her life. Then she said to him, one last request, Dad. Please, can you release the sons of my uncle? Please release them so that they can be with the old man. But Mr. Christopher said to her, no, I can't. They will dance to the tune of what they have done to you. Besides, they were not properly raised by their parents, because a properly raised child cannot go to the extent of what they did to you. So let them face the music that they have earned for themselves. So parents and guardians, raise your child properly. The more we emphasize on girl child, we also emphasize on boy child. Please raise your sons properly. Raise them in a way that they will respect a woman. Raise your sons in a way that they won't lay their hands on women. Raise your sons to be responsible, because a good son is a safe community. Also, parents, pay close attention to your daughters and your sons so that you will dictate when there is any form of abuse or molestation happening in their life early, before it becomes very bad. Also remember,
Whatsoever you're passing through in this life, God hears your prayers. He sees you. He knows when to come in. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have learned something too. See you in my next story.